Hi everyone, Christina here. And I just wanted to introduce myself in case you don't know who I am and if you're a new follower. So my name is Christina Testana and I'm a brand designer and illustrator looking to help female mental health professionals with creating authentic brands that attract the right clients and remove the negative stigma. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about ways that you can get your people to fall in love with your mental health brand. So definitely the first way to make people fall in love with your brand is to be real and authentic. Let's not be like robots. Let's not have robots taking over your brand where people have to talk to a robot in Messenger or email. We need to create the relationship all over again from start to finish, being with you as an actual person communicating with that other client. We just really need to eliminate the whole robot aspect and just be real, be authentic as if you're talking to a friend. That's all people want. They don't want people, getting into their face and selling them features and selling them services. What you need to talk about here is to put down everything in terms of what you offer. Talk about what you bring to them in result. What kind of feelings are they going to experience when they work with you? And what kind of emotions are going to stir up, during the process and after the process. So the things that you need to really focus on is just being very humble and human when you're talking to people, such as, prospects that could be coming and interested in what you do. But really, it comes down to just be human, just be you. Don't let automation systems, be a part of how you correspond with your clients. It works and it doesn't work. There's times where you need it in terms of automation, but there's times where you need to step in and actually talk to the person, because this is the part where you need to listen and you need to understand how they're feeling. So the next way is, number 2, is focusing on the user's needs. Remember that you are here to help a certain person in your niche. So for me, I'm here to help female mental health professionals, which means that they are my focus. So in terms of you guys would be focusing on women who feel burnout, or women who are going through a stressful time being a first mother. So these are things that you have to really focus on, those types of people, and you need to understand what their needs are. And this is where I was talking about from point 1, where you're being human and talking to them about what they need, right? What do they want to feel? How can you help them with that? So being able to talk to them and provide good customer service, that's another thing. Being friendly to them, through conversation, through, bringing something to the table for them. All these things matter because you as a brand, your brand speaks to your people. It's not all about you. You need to really get that aside. You're here because you want to help this certain person, and what needs to be in focus is just listening to your people and showing up for them. That's key. And on the side, do your research. Do your research on these types of people that you want to help. what challenges are they facing? What kind of language are they talking about? What are some of the things that are stressing them out? Or what are things that are changing in their industry? And maybe that's an opportunity for you to come in and, be that helpful person that's thinking ahead and being proactive before, this problem happens to them. So again, do your research, focus on the user, and when you do that, people are going to come to you always because they know that you're going to help them. They're going to be, yes, I'm going to come on down to Christina and she's going to be here to help me. And that's what you want. You want people to, think about you in the back of their mind. That's the whole idea here. You want to be that top brand. And the way you do that is to focus on the priority, your user. So way number 3, we want to focus on improving our brand visuals. Not only that, but the functionality of our online presence. So if we have a website and our website is really, really hard to navigate, you can't find the nav bar, you can't find, the button to get to the services, you can't find the purchase button, there's a serious problem. So you really, really need to address how the user wants to feel when they come to your page. Are your users a little bit older? Do they need text that's a bit larger for them to read? And do they prefer heavy text? Do they prefer less text? More visuals? So these are the things that you need to learn and understand about your people, because your website design is not going to be about you and your preferences. It's going to be you talking to your people, knowing what they like, what they're comfortable with, and applying that to your website, because it's about the user experience. And that's super important, because if people get frustrated on your page, they're not going to stay. And that's a problem. So you really, really want to focus on user experience, whether it be on your website, on your social media, or maybe some of your video content. You want to make sure everything's organized and it's accessible, because people are on the go. They're not going to have time to try and find something. You want to make sure everything is there for them when they need it. Now the next thing, color choices. And I'll be addressing this a little bit later in my videos, but I'll just touch upon, some of the aspects here. So a lot of people like to choose all the colors of the rainbow. They like to choose, their favorite colors, but this really comes down to color psychology and how that plays a big part in how your people engage with your brand, interact with your brand, and show up to your brand. So you need to really understand that your color choices need to resonate with your ideal customer. So that's how people are going to fall in love with your brand, because the colors can drive their interest. Color is so powerful, and I will be talking more about it, but briefly I'll say that it stimulates emotion. Color is that powerful. Also, another thing about your brand presence, on top of user experience and your color choices, what it also comes down to is a solid, cohesive brand. Making sure that you look consistent on every platform. So people recognize you and know that, yes, this is your YouTube channel. This is your actual Instagram. And this is you on TikTok. So you want to make sure that you're consistently showing up on each of these platforms and you all look the same, because people want to make sure that they're addressing with the right brand. They don't want to run into something who's not official, right? And looking cohesive really, really makes you look polished and makes you look super professional, right? that's what we want. We want to make sure that we look up, like we look upscaled, we look, complete, and we look unison. And that's important. We got to look like we're organized and, ready to serve people. Because if we look like we're a mess, well, some things are going to fall apart, and people might unfollow you, or people might kind of like question, is this the person that I want to talk to in terms of this brand? So you really need to ensure that that's all clear, that your online presence is number solid. 4. The next thing that you really want to focus on in order for people to fall in love with you is to create content. Content creation is the biggest thing right now for lead generation. And lead generation just means that you are creating content that's engaging to people, and people are, liking the content, they're following you, they're saving the content, they're commenting. So this is driving, some traffic to you because you are providing content, but content that's valuable to them. So you're building stuff that's either solving a problem or changing a mindset. So from there, that's the way you start building the relationship and bringing in traffic and followers to support you, right? That's the biggest thing right now is content creation. You need to get into your user's head. What problem is existing for them? How can you solve that problem through content? How can you do a quick solution to their problem? And that's something that you really need to keep in mind, that people don't buy, from strangers, right? They need, something that they can, learn about you, trust you, and like you. So those are the 3 factors, the know you, like you, and trust you factor. And those 3 all come from content creation. Whether you're creating videos, posts, podcasts, anything like that, any type of free content that's going to keep them coming back, because you want to build that relationship. You want to build the know you, like you, and trust you factor, because that's going to drive people to buy what you are serving. And from there, the next thing that you want to focus on when you're building out content is, remember, people buy from emotional pulse. So the best thing that you can do when creating your content is to focus on the emotional aspect of storytelling. So tell stories, but tell them with an emotional focus, because then it's going to gravitate them to you because they feel the same connection. So keep that in mind when you're building out content. It really helps to have somebody that you could connect to and relate to. All right, number 5, the last way that you can get people to fall in love with you. And that's basically being open to feedback and always listening. The biggest problem right now in society is nobody wants to listen. And that's so hard, because how are you supposed to serve somebody else when you don't know what they need? And you don't know how they're feeling. They feel like they're not being heard because nobody's taking the time to listen. And this is up to you now as a brand. It's up to you to dig deep, do your research, go into some of the social media platforms and check in with some of your ideal customers. See what they're saying. What's coming up for them? How can you solve the problem? And just listen, active listen. And when you do that, you're able to curate good data that you could use to build something off of that, build an offer that might help them in some way. And when you do that, that would really stimulate a lot of good connection between you as a brand and your people. Because when you do that, people will trust you. And when you keep asking for feedback, so let's just say you have about 500 followers on your social media, you want to constantly keep asking them for feedback. So whether that be doing some polls in your IG stories, just to get feedback so that you know what you're doing right and what you could be improving on, or what they enjoy the most in your posts and what you could be introducing more of. So here's a great example. So I had somebody tell me that I need to show up more on IG, which is Instagram, and showing up meaning they want to see my face a bit more. So for me, I'm definitely going to try and push for doing more, in-person content on Instagram as well. But see, I did not ask, then I wouldn't have known, right? I would have just kept doing the same content that I've always done. But what you want to encourage is every quarter of the year, you want to ask your followers, some questions, some survey questions. And it's okay if not everybody, answers, or maybe not, your ideal client, but at least you're getting some feedback to help stir where you need to go, right? Your people are the best marketing tools, basically, because they'll speak upon you, right? They'll give you referrals, and they'll build testimonials and spread them out to local friends or to the community, as well as online communities. So that's why you want to make sure that you keep asking them for feedback, because they want to get involved as much as possible to improve you as a person. They also want to be a part of the brand because they believe in what you're doing and they love what you're doing and they want to support you. So make sure that you're open for feedback, and make sure that you're listening. When it comes to feedback and listening, is you want to go where your people are, right? So if a lot of your people are on Facebook groups, you want to join those types of groups and you want to get in there and start a conversation, because this is ways that you can actually get feedback where, there's a certain problem happening. There's a lot of mental health issues that are going on right now because of COVID. And, okay, what kind of things can we brainstorm about, right? So this is you starting a conversation, listening to what they have to say, and how you can, take that information back with you and, create something around that maybe that they could use for, bettering their services, or creating a community for them, anything like that. But those are some interesting tactics that you can get involved in when trying to get your feedback and listening to other people. So thank you so much for sticking around for this video. I hope that you found this super helpful. You can comment down below and let me know, what was your biggest takeaway from this video. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Keep smiling. Bye.